Hello everyone, it's your boy B3 back with another kicking movie reaction review. You know, I've been trying to do a lot of slasher stuff recently. So today we are doing one of the big boys, Friday the 13th from 1980, that OG Gucci Gang. I watched it on Prime Video, I rented it. It's weird because on Prime Video, like, the reviews for the US were all about that movie, but then it shows like the reviews from people outside the country, like the international reviews, and they all seem to be for a different movie, a different Friday the 13th. I don't get that. That's pretty weird. But as I said, Friday the 13th is a 1980 American slasher film. It's produced and directed by Sean S. Cunningham, who actually admitted that he was trying to emulate Halloween, which we just reviewed. And you didn't have to tell us, bud. We know. We know, because the first shot in both movies is in first person. Like, it's very obviously trying to emulate Halloween. But it was written by Victor Miller. I think he wrote it in like 2 weeks, actually. And starring Betsy Palmer as top billed, even though she's only in the movie for 13 minutes. Friday the 13th, 13 minutes. Very interesting. Coincidence? Almost definitely. It's also starring Adrienne King, Harry Crosby, Laurie Bartman, Mark Nelson, Janine Taylor, Robbie Morgan, and Kevin Bacon. Yeah. Its plot follows a group of teenage camp counselors who are murdered one by an unknown killer while attempting to reopen an abandoned summer camp. So, yeah, Cunningham put out an advertisement for the film in Variety in 1979 while the screenplay was still being drafted. And, it was cast in New York, filmed in New Jersey. The budget was about $550,000. I wish I could get a budget of that, right? And then there's like a bidding war over the finished film, and Paramount got it. Well, Paramount got it for domestic, and then Warner Brothers got it for foreign, European. Major box office success, over 59.8 million. Like, that's a ton compared to the budget. Like, wow. I think it actually has the most sequels of any slasher film. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it does. Critics were kind of mixed. Like, some praised it, some didn't. My review actually probably going to be pretty mixed, honestly, as well. But but it's the first indie film to secure the type of distribution it did, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. And had a lot of sequels, a crossover with A Nightmare on Elm Street, a reboot in 2009. I actually remember when that came out, because that's when this movie was spoiled for me. And it got a direct sequel 1 year later, which I will be watching and reviewing at some point. So Friday the 13th was pretty good. I really liked how it was shot. I thought the lighting was very good. When I watch movies, I pay a lot of attention to lighting, which is weird because I'm not actually good at lighting a scene. I usually have people help me with that, but I always imagine what I want. I'm just not good at lighting it. Like, look at me right now, you know? I'm just trying to be spooky with the low light. But it was pretty cool. But you don't see the killer until the last victim is ready to go. It being his mother is cool, but there's only really one instance of foreshadowing for it. So there are two Jeeps in the film. One driven by the guy that owns the camp, and one driven by the murderer, right? Because we first actually see... And it's the same Jeep. Like, it's the same Jeep used for the story, but story-wise it's supposed to be two different Jeeps. It just has the soft top on, or it doesn't. And I actually recognized that they were both the same Jeep. Like, it was happening, and I was like, are those both the same Jeep? And luckily, Amazon will actually show you, like, trivia and stuff while the movie plays, which I really appreciated because I love movie trivia. And it actually did confirm that it was the same Jeep, and I was like, I knew it. And that kind of revealed, if I didn't know who the killer was going into the movie, that would have given it away for sure. They basically tell you when the Jeep is seen, because the Jeep is seen pulling in, and you, as the audience, know that it's not the head of the camp because he's already been killed. And you've seen the Jeep try to be used in a killing before. You know for a fact the killer drives a Jeep. So when the Jeep pulls up and she mistakes it for his because it's the same exact car, and then a woman steps out, you're like, hey, uh, that must be the killer. But it's not revealed for several minutes still. I think the twist has not aged well. Not only is it common knowledge who the killer is in this film among horror fans, I first heard who the killer was in like 2009 when the first one came out. Well, not the first one, when the first reboot came out. There will be another reboot, I'm sure. But basically, the twist in this movie is that the killer is a woman. That's the whole twist. Because you don't know the full story of Jason until the killer gives it to you when they've basically been revealed, pretty much. Which is odd. Like, the way that I feel like it should have maybe been done is they heard the legend of Jason or told it as a campfire story. And then, like, someone dressed as a man in a mask is trying to kill them, and they're like, what? Maybe it's like Jason, and they think it's Jason. But then the twist is that it's his mother. More like it. And if his mother would have been introduced earlier in the film, if we would have seen her really, like, speaking at the beginning of the film or something, it also might have been more interesting. But when the twist is someone you've never seen before is the killer, and it seems like the whole twist rides on people not expecting a woman to be the killer. And, like, these days, I'm not surprised when the woman is a killer ever. At the time of recording this, actually, there is a movie coming out. It's like some weird body swap horror comedy slasher that's going to have a female killer. It'll be stupid, but I mean, it's got Vince Vaughn in it, so it's more than likely going to be stupid, right? Sorry, Vaughn. But yeah, like, there's a bunch of counselors reopening this place where a lot of weird stuff has happened, including the drowning of a boy, which started it all, Jason Voorhees, and also 2 camp counselors being murdered like the year after that. It doesn't say who they were murdered by, but we can assume it was Mrs. Voorhees in her crazed state. We can definitely assume that. We can also assume, like, it could have been Jason, but it most definitely, like, wasn't, because they interact with her as if they're a normal looking person, and Jason would not be a normal looking person, and he would also be a boy. So she definitely killed him, and they didn't seem to not recognize her, and she did work as a cook at the camp. So she like, it was in my opinion, it was definitely her. The clues are there that it was her, but it's never straight up said, but it was her. They're all killed off one by one. We don't get to see terribly much of the killing because they can't show us anything that would show more than her hand. And she actually has a male body double through the whole movie, so you don't recognize her. Because she's actually... Betsy Palmer is a very recognizable stage actress. In fact, she's so recognizable that someone in a magazine was, like, outraged that her role wasn't bigger. I mean, it is weird that she's top billed, but, you know, we barely see her. Once again, she's only in this Friday the 13th for 13 minutes. But yeah, this magazine writer, like, doxed her. Like, he published her address and encouraged people to send her hate mail, but the moron published the wrong address. So, yikes. Very yikes. But yeah. Yeah. We got all this going on. Oh, I just lose one of my lights. There we go. That's better. So, is it a good movie? Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. Um, there are definitely things I would change. Like, I feel like in slasher movies now, I mean, this is one of the OG ones, so not having super creative kills is forgivable. There is one creative kill where she's like hiding under the bed, right? And she pushes an arrow up through the bed and it comes out the guy's neck. That was dope. That was super dope. That was my favorite kill of the whole movie. And then there's another kill that we don't even get to see, but it looks like it was pretty cool because the guy is pinned up to a door, arrow through his eye, arrow through his shoulder, and his eye is twitching. And actually, the eye twitching isn't even part of, like, it wasn't intentional. Like the stuff they were using makeup wise to make him look dead burned his eye so much that he was in extreme pain and he like couldn't stop it from twitching. But it really worked. I didn't actually super notice the twitch. That was just in the movie, in the trivia on the side while I was watching it. But yeah, this took me a while to watch because I paused it a few times to read trivia, and also because I actually had to like finish some laundry and stuff, you know, beforehand. But when I like towards the end, I had to finish. I had to move my fold some laundry, and etc. Make room in the machine for the rest of my family. But I really enjoyed it. Friday the 13th is a classic for a reason. I don't think it's better than Halloween. Halloween is better. I also think Nightmare on Elm Street is better. Uh, if you want to debate me on that, that's totally fine. It's just personal taste. I think those are better because we have. Um, because I guess the killers feel more like characters. Like, she's obviously crazy. She thinks her son's talking to her. She's like doing his voice and stuff. Uh, and then there's one interesting part where, like, the undead Jason grabs a counselor and pulls her into the lake at the end, the one surviving counselor. And, excuse me. And then she wakes up. And it's like, oh, it was a dream. And then she's like, it was not a dream. So the movie does end with the audience knowing that there is an undead Jason living in the lake, which makes sense because he's the killer in the rest of the movies, I believe. I think the remake is just him, no mom. But I don't really know because I haven't seen the remake. It came out when I was in high school, but I haven't seen it. But Friday the 13th is a classic slasher film. If you're a big movie or horror buff, you should probably watch it. Once again, it is available for rent on and purchase on Amazon Prime Video, which is where I've been watching a lot of my horror recently because a lot of the low budget stuff you can't find anywhere else is on Prime Video. So thank you for that, Prime Video, for having all the low budget horror I want. And this was technically low budget horror. Just because it's a classic doesn't mean it wasn't low budget. I mean, it really, really made a profit. It really made a profit. Wow. Uh, but that's it. You know, if you really want to see the film, definitely watch it. I don't think I gave away too many spoilers, but if you don't know who the killer is in the first one by now, you might just be younger than me probably, because I learned this when I was in high school in 2009 when the new one came out. One of my friends told me who the killer was in the original, and I was like, okay, because I didn't really care about slashers then. I only recently have started caring about slashers. Uh, but yeah, I kind of wish I didn't know that going into it. But once again, I don't think it would have been that impactful. I really don't think it would have been that impactful. Honestly. Uh, because we don't even know who she is. We don't even know Jason's name until she's already revealed. So, I don't know. But that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below: Facebook, Twitter, etc. I got several films I want to do coming up. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do next, to be completely honest. I want to do Planet Raptor. I want to do The Black Gloves. Um, Something I don't have to rent because the last two movies I did were rented. I kind of want to do some more Jamie Lee Curtis, so I might watch Prom Night. I found a place to watch it with ads. I watch everything legally. So, yeah, I also really want to watch Creature, you know, the Alien and the Thing ripoff. Really want to do that. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all next time.